Okay, condenser change. Pretty much every single car in the world has the condenser in front of the radiator because, hey, you gotta use one fan for both. It's an efficiency thing. The way this vehicle works is you have to get out the radiator first to be able to get to the condenser. So to get the radiator out, first you have to drain it. You have to go into the vehicle to do that. So right next to my frame, right here, somewhere, oh, here we go. Underneath here, there is my petcock, but I don't have a stupid handle on it. It's stubborn, so I use some long needle nose pliers to get up in there and start turning it. Now it should move by hand, so now if I get a catch pan or my bucket. There we go. Oh, the stupid thing, it looks all the way out, and it's still, there we go. I hear water, oh. There we go. Well, there we go, it's draining. It's gonna make a huge mess, but most of it will be in that pan. And it's that stupid Dex Cool stuff, so I'll have to replace it with the orange Dex Cool, because you don't wanna mix the green and the orange. That is a big no-no. So we're gonna wait a few minutes for that to drain. Okay, and then gotta get the fan shroud off of here. I've got this breather that's installed right here, so I've got to remove this funky little clip that's on here.
So this breather just comes right off with a screwdriver.
Okay, and then I have some 10mm screws. Gonna get those off next. It's fun. It's plastic that it's mounted into, so you definitely want to be gentle. Okay, so here's the 10mm screws off of here. There's some more straight down inside of here. There's two of them way down there. There you go, there's the two, so we're gonna get those out next. Okay, now to get that out without dropping it. And then two more on the other side. So, frick, I dropped it. Now that I've got the bolts out of the shroud, time to take off the shroud. There we go. Overflow to the radiator overflow. Removed. Easy peasy. I have no clamp on mine. You may or may not have one on yours. Apparently, this is just a wrench fitting. Some of these are clips, some of these are wrenches. Even though I do have the clip-looky thing, it is just a regular wrench because it is not a flange fitting that you'd use for one of those other ones. So, this is an 18mm wrench. There it goes. And then that should come right off eventually. There we go. Okay, that is off. Next thing I have down there on this side is my radiator hose. So that is just a screw clamp on that. You have no idea how much joy it brings me to use my giant long screwdriver. I never get to use this. So there we go. So that's loose. Hey, that's gonna come off. Oh, it's gonna make a mess. So because it's so easy, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the battery and the battery tray, get it out of the way so I can get to that nut down there a lot easier without having to mess with it. I don't have the tool to get the fan out of here, so it's really easy to take this battery tray out. So take the battery out, take the battery bolt and retainer out, and then there's just two more screws here in the front, and I believe they are 13mm. Yep. So every time I pull this out, the screws, or the retaining nut things on the other side of here that are in this, always want to fall out. So I'm going to carefully, yeah, see, look, it's down there loose right now. It wants to fall. There. This thing always keeps falling off. So I'm going to bring that off to the side. I'm going to screw in, move the screw there, so it stays in place. All right, now I've got really good access down here for the rest of the stuff that I need to get off. So the next one I need to get off the radiator is the one that's right below here. It's the same thing. It's just the lower one of those. It's probably the transmission line, I'm guessing. So get that bad boy off.
So if you don't remove the fan, you can still get to these nuts if you push the lower shroud out of the way. Timber!
Of course.
So what I'm doing is I'm pushing the lower shroud out of the way and wrenching with the other hand. It is a bit of a pain, but it's entirely doable. And I don't even think I cut my hands once doing this entire job. Yay, me!
Yeah, I guess I didn't need to take the battery tray out for this. But it sure helps me see. I can see why you'd want to take the fan out, because it's kind of in the way. But it can be done with the fan in here. Okay, there we go. That's the transmission lines out. Next to the other side. All right. Remove upper radiator hose. Okay, that out of the way.
Next, I need to remove the oil cooling lines on the other side. Sorry, I don't have any good footage of this, but I'm going to try to remove the upper one. It's the same thing as the transmission lines, but my oil lines, these are the ones on the driver's side, they were a lot harder to get off. Also, I didn't have the correct size wrench for it. For these things, I had to use a crescent wrench, which kind of worried me a little bit. But I was able to get it off.
There it is. That guy way down there. So I got to get him off. Do the same thing next. I obviously won't be able to show that very good, but I'm going to go like this. Push this forward so I can get my wrench in there and then loosen that bolt. So I'll be in this side pulling up with my wrench. Oh my gosh.
The lower one was really stuck on there, and I had to use a pipe as a breaker bar on the end of my crescent wrench. That is not ideal because I was really worried about stripping it once again. So if you know the size, please let us know in the comments so no one else has to go through this.
Got it. Yeah, that worked. Okay, that is a bear. Well, thank goodness for that breaker bar. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have got that out of there. All right, now let's pull this bad boy straight out if I can get some light down in here. It's brand new hoses. Oh, like I found some more fluid. I will let that drain. It's going into the bucket, so yay. There's always more radiator fluid. There we go. Ooh, look at that. There's some debris on the front here. You see the debris? So this is good. This is kind of a good opportunity to get in here and remove some of this garbage that's in here. Yeah, because I bet that's, there might be some stuff on the front of my condenser too. So hopefully when this is all cleaned out, I'll have a little tiny bit better cooling. Okay, that is out. Bam. This is fun. Look at all the fun stuff down in here. There's a big old rag. There's a big old rag down here. So yeah, that was definitely blocking my radiator a little bit, and then all this other garbage. Okay. So the next thing I need to get out is this trim panel here. There's a piece of plastic on both sides covering up the screws that I need to get to, and they're held in with trim clips. So those are pretty simple to get out. Let me show you how. Okay. So pull out the centerpiece. There's even a little slot for the screwdriver. And then once you have that part out, there it goes. Then it should just wiggle out like that. So in the factory, when it's together, it's nice and flat. This part pushes in the middle and it pushes it out. So that's why you have to pull this center part out first. So see, it's got those little notches in it. So you can use a pair of pliers to grab the top of it or a screwdriver. I usually use a screwdriver. Pretty simple. You can use this you can get this on and off by hand. Maybe I can get it on and off with a screwdriver. Well, maybe I will have to get a pair of pliers. Some just small, normal size, needle nose pliers. There we go. Come on a minute. Get it out of here. Okay, I guess that's as far out as that goes. There it goes. There. See how easy that is? Okay, now I'm ready to start getting to the condenser. What I'm going to do first is actually get the lines off of here and then pull the condenser out. So if you want to use the proper size wrenches, they are 20 and 24 millimeter. So the little one is 20, and it would work perfectly if I didn't have it all gummered up from trying to get it off the first time. But it is supposed to be a 20. Yeah, part of it fits. Yeah, see, this is all just gummered up and stripped to hell. That's why I have to replace this condenser to begin with. And then 24 on the outside one. Okay. That is on there good. Oh, see, look, that 20 millimeter works really good when you have the right size thing on here. Now, don't pay attention to how these things are hooked up. I actually have them hooked up backwards right now. So you'll have the you'll have this one going to the bottom one, and the top one will be going to your compressor. Mine are backwards because I tried to fix this, and obviously that didn't work because that's why I'm in here. There it goes. Now that's off. Okay. Now, two more on the top. There's one here on this side, and another one here on this side. Same thing, little 7 millimeter bolts. Get those bad boys out.
The last thing holding the condenser in is two 7 millimeter screws on the top, and there's one on each side.
That is everything. Put this bad boy in.
So the plastic flappy thing that was held in with those trim clips is in the way. I just need to move it off to the side a little bit to get it out of the way from the condenser.
Here we go. Here it comes. Come on, you, come on. It's a boy. Look at this. Aha. Condenser. Out. Yes. So there you go. That's it. Obviously, you do the reverse to put it back together, and I'll show you all those steps to get it assembled. Now I'm going to clean all the garbage out of here because it's got a bunch of garbage in here. I'll clean that out, start reassembly.
I guess I should check what's in this box now. I've had this thing for a few weeks, and I have had a couple mistakes lately from Rock Auto. So maybe I should have checked this sooner, but I did line it up and it looked correct. Sometimes these things come with a vacuum applied to them, so when you take off the end, it will make a whooshing sound of the air going in. But mine wasn't sent like that, so fingers crossed.
All right, so first I want to make sure my little feet are down there in the bottom. Got it all cleaned out down in here now. Put this foot back.
Then you have the rubber U-bushings that go on the top of each end of the condenser. Then you just need to screw in the two top 7 millimeter bolts.
Okay, tighten it back down. There it is, pretty simple. Just time consuming. This probably takes 2 to 3 hours. This all said and done, and then you got AC charging after this you gotta deal with.
Get those plastic panels lined back up and push the two trim clips back inside of them. Remember, there's 2 on each side that you took out.
There, clips reassembled.
And you want to make sure you put brand new gaskets on these AC lines. Your condenser may even come with some. If it doesn't, there's a whole kit that you can buy that's really cheap with all the gaskets. I'll put that info in the description just in case. And make sure you put a little bit of AC oil on these gaskets. Mine calls for PAG 150. You'll need oil to recharge your system anyways, so you should already have that on hand. If you don't have any, just use a tiny bit of regular oil and don't tell anybody.
What you're supposed to do is just get it on here snug, because it's got that rubber gasket. You don't want to over tighten it, so you just get it snug and then a tiny bit more. So that's why it, so there, now it's snugging up. Now I need my other wrench. Oh, is this a different size? Oh, it's a different size, you dirty dog. It's a different size than the OEM one. Oh, it's much larger. What size is that? So, back to the old crescent wrench, apparently. It must be 23 millimeters. I guess that's the one size I don't have. I don't have 23 millimeters. Okay, and then snug. Okay. That's that one. Okay, so this is messy. It's dripping oil all over the place, so be careful when you set it down. I also went ahead and closed. Oh, I got it in here upside down. This is upside down. Here we go. That's how it goes. I also closed my petcock too. Okay. Here. All right. All right, I'm gonna reconnect the oil line because it's leaking all over, so I'm gonna get this one first. So be careful of that. You may drip oil out of that oil line. Surprise, surprise, right? Who would have ever thought that would happen? So if anybody knows the right size, you know, let us know in the comments so no one else has to suffer like this. There we go, that feels snug to me. So same thing, this is what I did on the bottom. Ugh. There we go. It's got a flexible hose on this, so the end is solid, but you can get it wiggled around here to, there it goes, to get it to start. And you just bottom it out and snug it up because it's got a little rubber seal on it, so you don't need to go super crazy with this one either. There. Snug. Now you don't have to take that clip off. I was just doing it to look at it to see if I needed to take the clip off. Got it started.
Now it's to the passenger side and doing the same thing with the transmission lines. It's just slow going because you have to push the lower radiator shroud out of the way again, but you'll be able to slowly churn that a tiny bit at a time.
Okay, one more of these dumb things. Yeah, much easier. Not easier when you can reach it. Okay, snug. On. All right, radiator hoses are next. Okay, got that on, just gotta tighten it down. That was my favorite part, using my 10-foot long screwdriver. Whee! Look at that. Okay, that is done.
Finally, to the last AC line. This is the upper one that goes to the condenser. You probably could have put it on right after the lower one. I thought there'd be more room in here, and that's why I didn't do it right away. But you could probably put those two lines on first and then put the transmission cooling lines in afterwards. Once again, sorry for this terrible view.
Okay, so just snug, not super tight. Okay. I've got one more radiator hose to do on the other side, and then we're done, I think. Pretty much, with all the hard stuff. back on. Holy cow, we're done. Okay, we've got the vehicle all put back together-ish. Fan shroud. Put this bad boy back on. Screw it down. All right, I'm putting these lower screws in first, because you may notice that there's really nothing holding this fan in here except for the shroud. So the shroud needs to be bolted together and then secured to the radiator core support up here.
Just 3 more screws to go.
All right, pull this forward. Screw. Screw. It's too hard to do this, honestly. Okay, slug. Overflow.
And the last thing I need to do is just to reconnect that vent that I snapped off at the very beginning.
There. Yay. Okay. We are fully reassembled. We just have to put coolant in this bad boy, put my battery tray back in, and ready to go. Except for obviously the part of recharging your system. Oh yeah, the other thing too is when you put your radiator down, don't forget that there's a side of it that has a bunch of oil in it. So I leaked oil all over my floor. So I leaked oil there. I also leaked a bunch of oil in the front where it's leaking out of the front hose. So plan for that. Plan for oil going everywhere. So put some cardboard down, tilt your radiator with the oil lines on the top, and it won't have the issue like I did here. And maybe you can put a glove with a rubber band or something on that lower oil line to keep it from leaking. That would be not a terrible idea.
Now, after all that work, the next step is to vacuum test this and make sure it's not leaking. But that's really part of AC repair. And that's another video that I'll have posted soon. Thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to subscribe for this and other project videos.
Change might do you good. Get down to your Oldsmobile dealer today and start something loud.